As you're setting your boundaries, I think one important thing that we Christian must do is also set our boundaries with social media, right? I'm going to explain that. There's a lot of time we've heard from different type of posting, no, that you must cut off social media, that this and this, it brings in depression and all of those things, right? But then on the other hand, you look at social media and you're like, no, this is the place that I get most of my information. It has bad things, of course, but then it also helps my relationship with God, right? Someone has helped me, give me tips on how to pray, and it's actually working. Someone has helped me, taught me how to, it's actually working, right? A lot of people use it to earn a living. There's a lot of positive things about social media. So, right, in today's video, we are going to talk about the right dosage of social media, right? And how to actually do it because it's so hard. These social media apps have been formed or created in a certain way. You just feel like swiping to the next video, you just feel like scrolling, even when you know you have to stop, but you just feel like continuing scrolling, right? Before even going ahead, I'm going to talk about one most important point that I see most of the people skip when it comes to talking about the negative impact of social media. I think the main reason they skip it is because most of the people who talk about it are not actually Christian. We Christian most of the time focus on fasting, demons, and all of those things. Right. So one most important negative effect is the fact that there's a lot of voices that comes from social media. Someone tells you to do five, the other person 9, 10, 11, 12, and then when you try to do all of them, you see no result, and at the end of the day, you start questioning Christianity. And the other thing is as well is you start receiving so many information from people who've got this certain revelation from God, because God reveals himself to people in a different way, right? Before Moses, he told him throw that snake and then it's throw the stick and it's going to turn into a snake. He told Elijah no this and then fire is gonna come down. So he reveals himself in front of people in different ways, right? A certain revelation or a certain information from someone. Now, at this point, you are at a point where you only know about God, but you do not know God. Why? Because you've gotten information. Now you think you know Him, but you do not actually know Him for who you are. In order to know God, you actually have to spend time meditating this word. You have to spend time praying. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get information about God. You can get it, it can help you, but then you must desire, have that yearning, that thirst to have a personal relationship and a certain revelation from God. And that is impossible if you get a lot of voices in social media. Right. And the positive thing, the reason why you should absolutely try this method and get the right amount of social media, not a lot to rot in your brain, but enough for entertainment and enough to get certain information, is because then your mind is more quiet. First of all, the most important is because you have a lot of time. I just want you to go to your settings in your phone and I want you to look at how many times you've spent in all of these apps watching movies, TikTok. At times we do not realize it, but when you enter there, you'll notice it's always hours. It's always, if there's minutes, I don't think there's anyone with minutes. I think it is always hours, right? So now imagine if you spend less time in it, how many hours you have. You have more time to pray, you have more time to relax and actually focus on other important things. And except that it gives you the opportunity to actually quiet down all of those voices that tell you, no, you must do 5, 6, 7. And it's actually not you and God. You can hear him clearly. When he tells you do 5, 6, 7, you will not ask yourself, but that person on social media says they did 5, 6, 7 with God and this work. It's just between you and God. That's one thing that social media has spoiled, because this relationship on earth with Christianity, it's just between you and God. So let's stop cutting to the chase and then we are quickly going to go to the three things you have to do in order for you to get the right dosage of social media. So out of the three, we are going to go with the first thing. And the first thing is we have to set rules, right? I think I wrote down here 3 or 4 rules that you have to set in order for you to, first of all, decrease. If you follow these rules, it's quite easy. It's going to be hard for the first 2, 3, 5 days, but after that, you get used to it. And by just following those 4 or 3 rules, you're actually gonna go 50% less of the time you spend on social media. So without wasting any time, let's go. The first one is no social media while eating. Breakfast or anything that you're eating. You just leave your phone apart, stop scrolling. Okay, you can watch a movie, that's different from social media, because I'm personally a movie person. I don't spend a lot of time on social media because I feel as though it has one idea, whereas social media has different ideas, different voices from people, right? So you can watch a movie and there's so many other advantages. If you want to Google it, there's so many other advantages from eating without your phone, right? So the first one is no scrolling when you're eating. The second one is, you see, in the morning when we wake up, I'm assuming that we all as Christian pray twice a day, before sleeping and in the morning. So in the morning, you do not touch your phone unless you've said a word to God and unless you've opened your Bible. All right, I'm going to explain that later. And there's also no scrolling after you've prayed in the night. Right, before going to sleep, you've prayed and there's no scrolling afterwards. If you don't feel like sleeping, walk around or anything of the sort, but we are not scrolling. Why? Because in the morning, when you start scrolling in the morning, number one, it spoils your day. Literally, you just want to continue with entertainment. There's already something that is released in your brain that tells you you've achieved something. You get instant gratification for something you didn't even do, you just scrolled. So, no scrolling. After you spoke to God, then you can go scroll for 10 minutes, something like that, right? That's the second one. And the third one is no scrolling in no event, right? I understand you are a social awkward person, you don't really talk to people, or you go to somewhere new and then you don't know anyone, you're panicking and you don't want people to look at you as though you're lonely, you quickly take your phone and scroll. No, my Christian people, we are not doing that. Just sit around, right? And watch people, let them watch you as well. Let them think whatever they're thinking. Most of the time, they're not even thinking about you because they're thinking about their dress, they're thinking about their hair, their shoes. They're not even thinking about you. So just for your own sake, don't scroll in any event. All right, whenever I even go to any place, I just switch off my phone. Not literally switch off my phone, but I just put it aside. I'm going to talk to a person. If there's no one to talk to, we're going to look at each other. All right, so those are the three one. No scrolling during eating, no scrolling before prayer in the morning or after prayer at night, and no scrolling in crowded places. By that, you're already 50%, right? And then the second step that we are going to do, or the second thing that you have to do, is we have to stop those people. The system they've created whereby if you just enter TikTok, you start scrolling, you start scrolling, you start scrolling. So here's a technique I've been using and it has helped me for the most since I've actually realized that I'm wasting my time in social media. The one thing that I've used to stop doing that is because they've programmed this apps in such a way that you just want to go to the next video. You tell yourself that this is the last video, but you don't understand how you're spending an hour there. So what I actually do is I look at the time I enter social media. For an example, I enter Instagram, it's half past 9, right? So I tell myself I'll get out of Instagram as soon as it's 20 to 10, right? So I only have 10 minutes there and I'm scrolling. While scrolling, I'm looking at the time in my phone. As soon as it's 22, I stop. Even if I have nothing to do, I just stop there. Just to teach you how to control yourself. And that is actually setting a barrier because you continue scrolling. If you don't stop yourself, you tell yourself this next video, and you'll find the funny video, and it will just be funny. You will not stop, and later on you'll realize how much time you've wasted, right? So the second thing is set a timer, not like a real clock, but then set a timer in your phone. You're looking, okay, I'm just here for 10 minutes. And as soon as it hits 10, no, even if you're halfway through the video, get out, log out, and be busy with something else, right? And the other thing, this is not a step that I wrote down, but just something to include in there, is every morning and every night you have to know how to lay down your day, right? How to plan your day. Because most of the time we get lost in scrolling because we don't know what step to do next, or the step that we have to do next is quite, heavy, something that we don't like doing. And so we just scroll for 2 seconds and we are procrastinating, right? But if you wake up in the morning, you tell yourself, okay, I'm waking up, I'm going to pray, I'm going to read the Bible for 10 minutes, and then after that, I'll scroll for 10 minutes. After scrolling, then I'll go study, I'll go to work, I'll go do this, I'll go bath. Then you'll find yourself, okay, because there's something else after that 10 minutes of scrolling, you will not waste your time scrolling. And the last one, this, and the last one, I even think I should have started with this, right? And even before getting to the last one, because I like it so much, I want to say why I actually even put it in one of the steps. Is because I have this rule when I fast. I'm not on social media at all. I don't watch people's status. I hardly interact with anyone. That's just to let my mind have one thought, and that is God, and that is a word that I read. That is the next prayer point I'm going to pray. Just to let God know that this is just me and you today. No social media, no anything. And you know what I notice at the end of every single day, every single fast, when I completely lock off social media, is when I finish my fast at 6, I have no desire. I feel disgusted by the thought of actually going into social media. Sometimes I try myself and I'm like, I'm excited. Okay, I'm done with my fast. I can enter. Because when you're fasting and then you're like, let me just enter for 2 seconds. But then when you're done with the excitement, when I enter it, there's nothing that actually gives me the desire to go to the next video. 2 seconds is all. Then I go. Most of the time, even when I finish fasting, I can actually enter TikTok and watch. I don't have the desire at all. I just go out, right? And that's because you've stopped your flesh from eating something and it's just lost appetite at all. And this is where we get to our third one. And our third one is choose a day, right? Normally, as a Christian, I can borrow this technique, right? So if normally I fast once per week, so you can take it. If you fast once per week, then it's actually easy for you. That fasting day, you're not actually going to be on social media at all. But if it happens that for maybe health reasons or any reason you just can't fast, maybe you fast twice per month or anything of the sort, I'm not judging. You know your relationship with God, but then choose a day. I would advise you to choose Sunday. Choose a day throughout the whole week where you don't enter social media at all. You force your body to not enter social media. I want to remind you that you are the one in control. Most of the time, we Christians even think the enemy brings it into our mind to think that sin has control over us or anything else has control over us. At times I sit down and I'm like, God has given me the power. I have power over this sin that I'm struggling with. So you have power. You can switch off that Wi-Fi. You can switch off that mobile data. You can switch off your phone for the whole day. And maybe you may feel itchy. Maybe you may tell yourself, I'm bored. You may feel lazy. There's all type of feelings that is going to come with us. But then you get used to it. Like I said, when I finish a fast, it feels so uncomfortable entering in any social media app. And it's going to be the same with you. The first Friday or the first Sunday that you'll do it, perhaps you might enter into social media for 10 minutes for this, but then continue. Even if it happens that you fall, continue. All right. And I literally hope that this video has helped someone. And I want to say, I'm so certain that my techniques are going to work because it has helped me. I spend I wish I could screenshot the amount of time that I spend on social media and post it here, but I'm not going to do that. But it has literally helped me. And I hope it is going to help you as well. Have a wonderful day. We're going to meet in my next video.